Grade 12 CAT, Module 1.2b, Hardware Devices. And this time we're talking all about the output devices of the computer. So output is how an ICT device shows the results of the processing that has taken place. And we're going to look at a few of the output devices today. So first of all, the monitor or display. This produces interactive feedback. Interactive means that the monitor talks to you, or the screen shows you things, and you then react to it and you do something. You click on an icon, or you do something on the to put input into the computer. And sometimes if people can't hear, then the monitor can be used for visual alerts for them. The advantages are that the person gets immediate feedback. There's interaction between the user and the computer. And the content that you are shown can easily be changed. The monitor can be used to enlarge text or pictures for visually impaired people. Or you can use high contrast. Visually impaired is people who are a bit blind, who can't see very well. And the display can be changed to suit the preferences of the user. The limitations or disadvantages is that the quality of the display is related to the size of the monitor. And the size of the monitor, if it's too big, then you can't carry it around. Also, the output is difficult to share. The screen is made for only one person. Unless you've got a projector, then you can show it to many people. And the image quality can also be affected by ambient light. If there's too much light around, then you won't be able to read the screen. So here are the factors for when you want to buy a display. What should you look at? First of all, the resolution. That is the horizontal pixels times the vertical pixels. The higher the resolution, the clearer the screen will be. Also, image quality. The color depth, that is the number of bits used to store a color of 1 pixel. The maximum is 32 bits currently. The pixel density, or the dots per inch, which is the number of pixels in a 1-inch horizontal line. The refresh rate is how often the picture gets refreshed. So a very small refresh rate is better, especially for gamers and people who like to watch sport. If the refresh rate is too slow, you will get lag or drag on the screen. The contrast ratio is the ratio between the darkest black and the brightest white. If you have a low contrast ratio, then you will get soft, muddy images. To problem solve, if you have colors that are faded or too strong or muddy, or the image is too bright or too dim, this can all be part of the settings of the screen. And often there are little buttons on the side and under or next to the screen, and you can adjust the settings here. If the image is blocky or stretched, then check the resolution settings. And if the image is purple or blue, yellow or green, it often means that the connection is faulty, or else there may be a pin in your connector that is bent. If you have no display at all, then the power may be switched off, or there could be a bad connection, or maybe the computer cable is not connected or has come loose. Speakers or headphones are the next form of output. It's used to play sound, to provide audible feedback for the user. Often things beep at you when you've done something wrong, or click and things like that. And also it can give people who have visual disabilities, so who can't see well, it can give them extra notifications or alerts. Headphones are useful for listening to sound when you don't want to disturb other people. And speakers are made for a group of people. You can listen to voice messages, or you can interact with people on Skype using speakers or headphones. And headphones are useful when you're on the go. The sound quality will be dependent on the quality of the peripheral. Better headphones, better speakers, you will get a higher quality sound. And for a group, you usually need extra audio equipment, like an external amplifier. If you try and play something to a crowd from the little speakers of a laptop, that's not really going to work. Problem solving. If your speakers or your headphones don't work, you may have plugged them into the wrong jack. There's a microphone jack which is the same size as the headphone or speaker jack, and that can easily happen. You may have your sound settings on low or mute, or you may have it to play to the wrong sound output device. All of these can be checked in the control panel. Or your speakers might be switched off or not plugged in. Next we have printers. So all the different printers, we have mostly the three mostly used ones are the laser printer, an inkjet printer, and a dot matrix printer. So laser printer is used for black and white and also color documents. Inkjet the same. And the dot matrix is used most often for a point of sale, for receipts and invoices, and for carbon copies of documents. The laser printer is good for speed, prints very fast. It gives you high quality text, and the running costs per page are lower than with an inkjet printer. People usually have an inkjet printer at home because it's cheaper to buy, and they're generally not going to do a lot of printing. So they're not looking for a low running cost. It's more the buying cost that is important. The inkjet printer is the best quality for making photos. It will give you your best quality photo prints. And then the dot matrix printer is really cheap. The running costs are low, and you can create carbon copies of whatever you're printing easily. The disadvantages or limitations: the laser printer is expensive to buy, and it's not always the best for printing good quality color photos. Toner is not absorbed by the paper. The inkjet printer has higher running costs, so if you're going to do a lot of printing, the inkjet is not a good solution. It prints very slowly generally, and the print quality is not as good as that of laser printers. And the dot matrix printer has a very low print quality. So problem solving with printers: if your printer is not working, check that it's plugged in, check that the power is not off, might not be properly connected, or you may have selected the wrong printer in the print dialog box and sent it to someone else's printer. If the content is incorrect or does not make sense, you've probably got the wrong printer driver installed. If you have a poor picture quality, if the ink is faded or irregular, you may be low on ink or toner. Maybe the wrong type of paper that you're using in this for that application. And if a network printer is not printing, the network settings for the printer or the computer are probably wrong. So when you're buying a printer, here are some factors. Look at the speed. Do you need to do a lot of copies? The pages per minute are important. Color. Separate cartridges for colors are much better, because otherwise you may run out of only blue, and if it's all in one cartridge, you'll have to replace everything. The resolution. A higher resolution gives a better image. And then the cost per page is important. And look at the type of paper you need for high quality printouts. And then check that your printer can be used with your operating system that you are running on your computer. Also, you may want Bluetooth, wireless functionality. If you don't want to have to plug the computer into the printer each time, make sure you buy a wireless printer. And generally, printers do not get carried around much, but if that's important, make sure the printer is mobile. Your LCD projector is used when you want to create a large image for a big audience. The advantage is it can be viewed by a big group of people. The limitations are that the quality and clarity is not always as good as high quality display monitors. An LCD projector is much cheaper. Usually they have lower contrast ratio and it will result in muddier images, and normally it's limited to a 4:3 aspect ratio. That's the ratio of the width of the picture to the height of the picture. And this is your written module activity to match the work that we've covered today. See you next time.